Well, Iran's exports to the EU are now more than 3 times what they used to be. Total trade between the two stood at nearly $16 billion last year. One of the biggest deals Iran has signed is with Total. The French oil company agreed to develop part of the South Pars gas field, the largest in the world, for $4.8 billion. Now, despite Trump's statement, the US has also profited from the easing of sanctions. In 2016, Iran Air agreed to buy 80 Boeing planes for $16.6 billion. And recently, Boeing's signed a deal with 2 other Iranian companies for another 110 aircraft. Sally Ayhan looks back at how the deal came about and where it stands.
It was a major foreign policy victory for the Obama administration. Years of roller coaster and risky negotiations between US and Iranian officials led to an unprecedented nuclear agreement aimed at reining in Iran's nuclear program. The Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, which included 5 other world powers, was signed 2 years ago, lifting crippling economic sanctions in Iran in return for restrictions on its nuclear enrichment activities. But those efforts may now be in danger.
Never, ever, ever in my life have I seen any transaction so incompetently negotiated as our deal with Iran.
But Trump's promise to rip up what he calls the worst deal ever isn't proving easy. Every 90 days, Congress must certify that Iran is adhering to the agreement. The next certification deadline is next week. The administration says it's very likely to approve it. Despite some Republicans pushing the Secretary of State to not certify, he has been reluctant.
As I indicated at the beginning, the Trump administration is currently conducting a comprehensive review of our Iran policy.
It isn't clear what that review entails, but there are some within Washington who want to see this deal dead.
They knew that once it passed through Congress in 2015, killing it with a shotgun, death by shotgun approach, that was off the table. The only approach left that they could adopt was death by a million paper cuts.
The consequences of breaking the agreement are many, not just for the US, but for its relationship with European nations who've also committed to this deal.
Even our closest partners are going to wonder whether or not, if they agree to a deal with the United States, is it sustainable in the medium to long run, or will domestic politics potentially screw it up? It's going to build a risk premium into everything the United States does on a global scale going forward.
The attention has now been moved from Iran's compliance to America's compliance. Donald Trump has encouraged foreign powers not to do business with Iran, a blatant violation of the agreement. Prior to the nuclear agreement, Iran was isolated for more than 3 decades. If the US turns its back on this deal, it runs the risk of being isolated too, and its reputation to sustain complex multilateral agreements damaged. Sally Ayhan, TRT World, Washington.